Hello and welcome back to the Crafty Corner. I'm Jana and I'm here to tell you about our new theme over at the Funkie Junkie Challenge blog. Our new theme is Chillin' in the Summer Heat. This challenge is open from August 10th through August 23rd. We are looking at creating a tag or a panel using some colors from the summer. This could either be the cool blue colors of the ocean, or we could spice things up with the hot colors of the tropics and the hot summer sun. So if you would like to join the creative fun over at the Funkie Junkie Challenge blog, head on over to the link down in the description box to enter. As always, we greatly look forward to seeing all of your creative makes and ideas. And there are directions if you would like to join the fun through Instagram. Today, I'm going to be creating a couple of panels, but I'm not just stopping at panels. Do you ever have projects where you need to do a quick batch of cards and you need quite a few cards in a short amount of time? Well, I'm going to show you how to turn these panels into large card batches. So if you'd like to see exactly which supplies I'm going to be using, go ahead and pause here. All right, let's head over to the Crafty Corner. Today, the focus is all about panel making and cool summer tones. So to start with our first panel, I'm going to be using some Distress watercolor cardstock. And we're going to be pulling in some distress sprays for our cool summer tones. I'm going to be using Twisted Citron, Salvage Patina, and Mermaid Lagoon. So first, let's go ahead and spritz our large piece of watercolor cardstock. This should get us a nice inky flow, and then we're going to go in and add some color. Just a little bit of green, and we're going to go in fairly heavy with the Salvage Patina. I love that as a cool summer tone. That is just gorgeous, and it makes for such a nice flowing color. And now just a little bit of Mermaid Lagoon. Okay, that looks pretty good. I want to go back through and add in a little bit more water. I want to get that color flowing. And I also want to get rid of the spray pattern. I want this to be more flowing and less obvious where we had some spray. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn this. We'll let that drip a little bit. There we go. Now we're getting some nice movement. Okay, so I'll be back in just a moment after we dry this off. Alright, so this is fairly dry. The next thing I'm going to do is go back in with the Distress Sprayer and add some water droplets for some contrast. Just slowly squeezing the trigger on the sprayer to get larger water droplets. There we go. Okay, I'm pretty happy with the water droplets, so again, I'll go in and dry this and then we will take a closer look. And here is the finished panel. We've got a mixture of Twisted Citron, Salvage Patina, Mermaid Lagoon over Distress watercolor cardstock, and then we added some drips and drops for some added textural interest. The second panel is going to be very simple. We are going to be stamping out a patterned background using the stamp set CMS 448 Eccentric. And of course, to do this, I'm going to be pulling in some Distress Black Archival soot. So we're just going to ink this up and stamp it out. Okay, that looks pretty good. We've got a good inky layer. So we're just going to pick this up, flip it over, and stamp it out. And since I have such a large sheet, it looks like I'm going to be able to do 2 sets of stamps. So I'm just going to line that up about here and press. So good firm pressure. And I'm just going to make sure that I've got good pressure all over the stamp block. All right. Let's see. Pretty good. So I've got room for a second spot. So I'm just going to ink this up again and we'll stamp it out for a second time. Alright, let's stamp this out for a second time. So flipping it over, moving the paper down just a little bit. And we'll just line this up. And stamp. Okay. Alright, so this is going to give us the background that I'm going to be putting our cool blue colors over. Before we start slicing and dicing these panels, I'm going to make a few more panels because we're going to do a little bit more stamping for a few embellishments that are going to be going on these cards. Okay. There we go. So we will just set this panel aside. I'm going to pull in a couple smaller pieces of paper and we're going to turn these smaller panels into some backgrounds that will be sliced and diced. So for these, I think I want to work with 4 different cool colors. So I'm just going to cut this in half and each piece is going to get its own color. And I'm using some of the large tonic shears to do a little bit of quick cutting. Alright, for colors, we're going to be diving into the Distress Mica Spray Stains. These are great colors for all year round. And let's see, I want to go with some Hocus Pocus, a little bit of Frosted Juniper, a splash of Winterberry, and a little bit of Bubbling Cauldron. Okay, so we'll just give these a quick shake and then we will make some other backgrounds. Okay, need to shake this one a little bit more. We still have some mica chunks at the bottom. Better. Alright, so these are ready to use. Just grab one of these little half panels. Spritz. And spray. Okay, that looks good. Add a little bit more water. That's going to be nice and flowy. I'll just go set this aside for a moment. I'll come back to that and dry all of these off at the same time. Next, let's go in with Hocus Pocus. Alright. Add a little bit more water. Good. Slide this off to the side. Quickly wipe up the little bits that have spilled. Okay, good. Next, let's go with Frosted Juniper. Water. Spritz. And a little bit more water. Alright, swap that one out. Move that over here. And one more spritz. And some Bubbling Cauldron. Oh, you know what? I want to go back in. This is a little bit darker than I wanted it. I think I'm going to add just a little bit of Mermaid Lagoon to lighten that up. Good. Alright, I'm going to put this next part in fast forward while we dry these off. So here are our completed panels, as well as a few mini ones. Next, we're going to start chopping these up and building our card bases. So to do that, I'm going to be pulling in the tonic trimmer, and we will start slicing and dicing. So this is going to be the bottom panel, and this is going to need to be cut into sections of 2 3/4 inches. So I'm just going to start cutting in this direction, 2 3/4. That's good. There. So we're just going to slice this one, and I will then let you know what the measurements will be for the other panel, and then we'll put the rest of it on fast forward as I continue to cut these down to size. All right, so 2 3/4. Okay, and let's see, how's this one? Yeah, it could work. I can add a little bit more stamping at the bottom. Okay, so the first section that we did was 2 3/4, and now the second piece that we're going to be cutting is going to measure in at 2 1/4. Pulling this down, 2 1/4, starting right here. Okay, so here's our 2 1/4, and our other panel is 2 3/4. So when we put them together, they're going to be stacked like this, and we'll go from there. All right, let's go ahead and put the rest of this on fast forward as I continue to slice and dice. Okay, here are our finished pieces. So now that we've chopped up our card panels, we are going to start assembling these. So pretty simply, we're going to take one with the stamp base and then the colorful piece, and we're just going to stack them. And for adhesive, I decided to go with the ATG gun. This is going to be quick and easy. Sometimes you need a whole bunch of cards really fast, like quick little thank you notes or little notes of appreciation. So batching is a great way to get quick but beautiful results. Okay, let's go ahead and put the next part on fast forward as we put the rest of these together. In the end, we'll have a total of 9 ready to go card panels. Here are the finished card panels. As you can see, I was able to get a quick and easy batch of 9 panels. So for the moment, we're going to set these aside, and I'm going to show you how I batch out card bases. So for card bases, I like to use Nina Crest cardstock, and I'm using the ones that are about 100 GSM. So, got my paper, bringing back in the tonic trimmer, and I'm going to be cutting these at 3 inches by 6 inches. Now on each of these sheets I get 3 card bases, and these are for mini cards. The measurements again are 3 inches by 6 inches. So I'm going to do my 3-inch cut first, then I just turn it sideways, and then we have our 6-inch cut. That leaves us with a little piece left over. I like to save these and stamp out sentiments on them. Alright, and then very simply we just take that, fold it over, and we have a nice easy mini card base. Here are our completed card bases. So for the time being, we're going to go ahead and set these aside, and we're now going to work on some embellishments. The first of embellishments that I want to work on are some floral stamps, and I decided to work with the stamp set floral elements. These have some really great pieces, and those will be easy to stamp onto the mini panels that we created earlier. So let's go ahead and pull those out and start stamping. So for these, I have decided to use one of the larger blocks, and this will allow me to stamp more of these lovely stamps at the same time. So let's start with the blue panel and then work our way from there. And I will be using some of the Distress Archival black soot. Alright, so for flowers, I want to use some of the smaller ones. Those will make nice embellishments. Maybe some of the little flower buds. And one of the other smaller pieces. Okay, so I'll stamp these out and then I will see how many I can fit onto the second section. Okay, so I'm just going to take that, pick them up, and add ink. Okay, and we'll just stamp it out. Again, good firm pressure, and lift. Alright, that will give me enough to see as I cut these out. And let's go ahead and add the stamps and see what I can get for a second impression. Okay, and we'll just lightly tap that to pick it up. There we go. And add ink. Okay, just like that. And stamp. That is looking good. I can see the outlines and I will fussy cut these later. Alright, so we have the stamping done for the flowers. Next I'm going to be pulling in a few leafy elements and then we'll move on to fussy cutting. I absolutely love fussy cutting when I'm watching TV. I find it very relaxing and it's just something that can zone out. And it's also a great thing to do when you're not feeling overly creative but you still want to create and do something. Fussy cutting elements for future projects or large projects is one way to be creative without creative stress. Alright, leaves. This looks like a good selection. Yeah, I think I just want the pointy leaves. The rounder ones don't really fit. Okay, good. So we'll take these, put them on here. Okay. Good. Pick that up and stamp. Okay, oh, I'm really liking this green. That turned out a great leafy green. Okay, let's see. Okay, and stamp. Good. Now we have all of our stamping done, so now it is time for a little bit of fussy cutting. We'll go ahead and put this part on fast forward. So here are our finished embellishment pieces. We've now fussy cut these out of the panels that we had created earlier. We'll set these aside for the moment, and now we're going to be working on a few focal points. For focal points, I decided I want to incorporate some of the brush stroke butterflies. These I will be creating in cool colors along with a accent of silver. So I already have my papers right here, and they have some sticky back adhesive on the other side. So we'll go ahead and bring in the sidekick, and we're going to die cut a few of these. So I decided to go with the medium and the small butterflies. And we'll just put this on here, and I'm going to roughly cut around the die before running it through the sidekick. Okay, we have our cutting plates. Just line this up and place this down, and then we will run it through. Okay, and here are our parts, and we're going to be mixing and matching these. Some of the butterflies are going to be silver with colorful accents, and others of the butterflies are going to be a solid color with silver accents. So let's go ahead and take some of the blue paper this time. Again, I'm going to roughly cut around the edges of the die. Okay. And we'll stick that down and run it through. Alright, let's put the sidekick away for just a moment, and we are going to go through the assembly process. So we have all of our pieces right here. I'm going to bring in a die pick, and we're going to assemble. So I'm going to start with the silver accents first. We'll just peel that off here, and I'm going to poke out the little pieces that are still stuck into the die cut. I'll be able to poke this out nice and easy with the die pick tool. Okay, and let's go ahead and put this together. So just lining this up, we're going to place that down. Oh, I think we have that upside down. That's okay. Quick switch. And let's go back and get the other little pieces. So I'm going to get this one over here, and maybe I can poke the extra bits out before I remove this from the backing. Yep, there we go. Oh, not quite. I've still got a little bit sticking on here, but it's okay. You can just pry that off with the die pick, and then we will place this piece. So this one is going to go down here. Okay. And then we have this one. This only has one little piece to poke out. All right. And this is going to go over on the side. As you can see, there are some outlines here, so we can use them as a guide when placing some of the pieces. All right, and one last section to place. All right, last section. Okay, let's go ahead and put the rest of this on fast forward as we go through and create the rest of our butterflies. Now that we've assembled the rest of the butterflies, it's time to start putting together our mini set of cards. So let's go ahead and pull our backgrounds back in and our pile of embellishments. So I'm going to set these out, and then we're just going to start placing things, and then I will start gluing things in place. Okay, so 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, and I'll catch the other 3 in a little bit. All right. So first thing I'm going to do is place the flowers. Okay. So far I'm liking this. And now we will add in a few leaves here and there. Okay, so I'm liking how this is starting to build up. This is good. All right, and let's place this one over here. Good. So now that we have a rough placement for these, I am going to then go in with a bit of glue. I'm going to do one of these all the way through, and then we'll put the rest on fast forward. So when batching out cards, I like to lay everything out in sequence, and then it's very easy to just go through, glue pieces down, and then add focal points, and then last add a sentiment. So first we're just going to add on the little embellishments. A little bit of glue, and place it. Okay, good. Hold that a couple of seconds. Then I go over here and grab a butterfly and place that down. So the nice thing is I have all of these things pre-made so that once I am ready to start putting the card together, it's just a matter of assembling all of the pieces. So quickly with the die pick, I'm just going to push those little die cut pieces out. There we go. A couple more pieces on this side. All right, and placing the butterfly. Now the last thing is to go in with a sentiment. So I'm using some of the Tim Holtz metallic stickers, and let's go with something simple. Hello, friend. Then we just take that and place it. There we go. So simple, easy way to batch out cards. All right, let's go ahead, put some fast forward, and we will get the others assembled. Here is the finished set of cards. We started off by creating two distinctive panels. The first one was made from distress watercolor cardstock that we then spritzed with some distress spray stains. The second one was made using stamping. For that, we were using Stamp Set Eccentric CMS 448. Just simply stamping in distressed black archival ink, and then we cut up the two panels to form this set of 9 cards. So whenever you need to make quick cards to go, remember, batching is the easiest way to go about quick and beautiful results. Today we have been playing to the theme of Chillin' in the Summer Heat. And I decided to go the route of the Cool Colors Summer Palette, reflective of ocean colors. So if you would like to join all of the crafty fun, head on over to the Funkie Junkie Challenge blog. All of the links will be down in the description box. And thank you so much for joining me here today while we created a bulk batch of cards. So until next time, happy crafting.